The views and opinions expressed by guests on this podcast, including doctors, prosecutors, and representatives from various government departments, are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the podcast host or any affiliated organizations. The information shared may be based on personal experiences and professional insights at the time of recording, and these views are subject to change. The podcast is intended for educational and informational purposes only. Good day. Welcome to another episode of In Your Face podcast. Today we have another episode, a very inspirational episode. Yet again, I've been struggling to get this guest on the podcast. We had to postpone or reschedule because of other commitments, but finally the guest is here today. We have Dr. Molusi on In Your Face podcast today. Welcome to In Your Face podcast.
Thank you, my brother.
How are you, sir?
I'm well, thanks, man. How are you?
Nah, I'm alright. Can't complain. Yeah, man. Today, finally, we're here.
Yeah, it's happening.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So today I just want us to have a chill conversation, like we discussed earlier on. Nothing hectic, just a chill conversation. Want you to speak to fellow young people out there. I want them to be able to relate. If one has dreams, aspirations, they should not feel some type of way. So tell us, who is it Oba King?
Oba King.
Yeah, who is Oba King?
Let me first start by saying the full name is Oba King Charles Molusi, right? And I know most people know me as Carlos.
Yes.
And then I usually have to explain to them where does the name Carlos come from, but we'll get to that at a later stage. So Oba King is a young boy born in the Northern Cape in Kuruman,
Okay.
and the deep rurals of Kuruman. I was born in Khasihunelo, Vake 5. That's where I was born, and I grew up there. I stayed there throughout my primary school years, and only moved to Kimberley when I was about to start high school. That's when I came to Kimberley, and I've been to Kimberley ever since.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how was your upbringing? You mentioned that you're from Kuruman,
Yeah.
a rural village. But how was the upbringing? Just as a child, or rather a young man?
Going back to Kuruman, it wasn't really a good one. There was no father figure then. My grandfather had to play that part. So I left with my grandfather and my grandmother
Okay.
and my aunts. My mom was working in Rustenburg then, so I would only see her now and then. So basically, I was raised by my grandparents and my aunts then, and the grandfather was working in Uppington, who did driving, so they used to go there and then come back after some time. So it wasn't really a good one growing up in Kuruman, but you know how growing up in the villages can be. So until I think an aunt of mine saw a potential and decided that it's best if I come to Kimberley. My mother's side of the family is from Kuruman, and my dad was in Kimberley. So then I moved to Kimberley, hoping that I will now start having that kind of relationship with my dad who was in Kimberley. But, it was never to be. So
But that's one of the things I wanted to ask you, because you initially mentioned that your grandfather had to play the role of being a dad to you.
yeah.
What was the reason? What was the relationship between yourself and your father?
Look, my dad was married to my mom, but then he left when I was 5 years old, and my little sister was just a year old. So that's when the two of them separated. So my mom now decided to stay in Kuruman. Dad was in Kimberley, where he later on, had another family in Kimberley. So me moving from Kuruman to Kimberley, I was staying with my other aunt. And then I took it as an opportunity to go meet this guy, my dad, to say, you haven't been there for so many years, but I'm here now. I need you now, but yeah, but it wasn't what I had hoped for. So he basically was never there. And there was a point where I was just carrying a lot of anger within me. As a young boy, you grow up longing for that fatherly love, and guidance, but I only got it from my grandfather, but from my own dad, not really.
How would you say that void affected you as 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 a person, if it did in any way?
Look, I think every boy out there wants to have, that fatherly love and guidance, you understand? But then with me, it was a different story because once I moved to Kimberley, it was just my aunt and I. So then I got more of the motherly love.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me a bit softer in a way. And yeah, look, my aunt coming to stay with her in Kimberley, she made it a point that I did not lack anything. So she was trying her utmost best to give me what I needed and teach me to say, this is the way to go. It doesn't matter what happened between your mom and your dad. It's grown-up stuff, but don't involve yourself in those things. If he wants you in his life, he will come. You've been going, trying to reach out, but nothing happening. So just let it be. I'm here. I'm trying. So that's how it was.
So you mentioned your sister.
Yeah,
From your mom, how many kids were you?
it's just two of us.
Two of you then. So you were the eldest.
Yeah,
Okay. The sister, where is your sister now?
she's in Kimberley.
Okay. Now, Shap, you came to Kimberley. You had your aunt.
Yeah.
Then how was life in Kimberley now? Coming from Kuruman, come to the city.
Yay. It was different. I mean, from the village to come to the city, that transition. Yeah, it was different. And obviously, the language, man, your pronunciation of words, your Tswana for being from Kuruman and coming to Kimberley, it sells you out that this one is not from around here. Yeah, so the area where I stayed, my aunt lived in Tutau. So Majita, they will always now mock me with, when Jesus Weinster, with like Asporo, but yeah. But it was different, but I kind of like it because I could see that at least in this place there will be some kind of a growth for me. Because in Kuruman I felt like not many make it out of Kuruman to really achieve much, especially from those villages down there. So, yeah, Kuruman to Kimberley, left in Jepes, And then I started high school at Dr. EP22. Yeah, from it used to be standard 6 until standard 10, grade 12. So that's why I finished my high school, my metric there.
Now, I want to understand this now. You're from Kuruman.
Yeah.
Now, as a young boy in Kuruman, um, like any other child, you have dreams, you have aspirations. So, what were your dreams as a young boy growing up? The time you're in Kuruman. Remember, in Kuruman, you said it's a village.
Yeah.
Um, you see livestock.
Look, in Kuruman, I just wanted to get out and to try and change the situation at home because it wasn't all that great. I mean, we were staying there was a shanty together with these houses that they built the cow dung.
Yeah, count.
So it was those kind of houses that side. So with one clinic and then one primary school. If you were to move to a high school, then you have to travel to another VAC, which was, VAC 10. So at that young age, you must be traveling there. So I just wanted out to try and, make something for myself and then change the situation at home. That's all. Otherwise you'll be stuck now o go disa dikgomo dinku da or end up with the mining. That's more about it. Yeah, Bobo. So yeah.
So you come to Kimberley in the city at Dr. EP22.
Yeah.
Like you get to Kimberley, go Japanese. You know Japanese keep like your off. How was it go Japanese for Nana?
No, it was good. It was good. My aunt was very strict. My aunt was strict. Na ang kudisa more like ang tira iskat.
Okay.
Unas pa na there was a restaurant back then, something fishy. It used to be called Hoshum Hotel until she got retrenched. So na bereka the shifts. So unang kudisa in such a way from Skila, utsena motu, you make sure you clean the house.
Yeah.
How you clean the dishes, and then honali toilet you must clean the toilet. That was, my choice kutla. So and I'm protected that way and teach, and then I think I was still 12 years then, standard 6 then. From standard 7 then she started teaching me, you know what, I can see you need to start now cooking for yourself, and so you must come see how I'm doing this thing. And then obviously I guess I did school, then she will just come about the dira all right. But yeah, unang in that manner, But how lengwana busto to you forget ho tlamile go tlhatswa bo di toilet ko lumake stupu wena you come back from Skila lo go tlala bola. Because mo that area go golang go teng go na le ground daso so re ya ground. Then how tswara o fail wa go robala. Ha chase go tla utlwela ka tlapa no tsoga o tla go tlhatswa di toilet bosigo lela wa bona. So this is in that way I need to be responsible man ke kgone go itirela dilo, not depend mo mothong o mongwe go itirela dilo. And I think that molded me to be the guy that I am today. Wa bona. And when it came to the Lotsa Skila, she was pushing me. Now she always used to tell me, hey, nake editse ko standard 3. So wena o tlo go na one in the family go go dira matric. So she was pushing me. Wa bona. She was pushing me. Because I remember ku EP She never paid school fees from her pocket. I got ku EP ka create scholarship. I think it was African Scholars Fund. Pampatella alles from, grade 8 until grade 12, including uniform alles. Wabon. And I remember when kids are grade 10, they gave me an opportunity to say, no, you can actually go to a technical college then from grade 10. And I was excited, like, yeah, I'm doing it. And she was like, no. How you go? Ke batla matric. So I was like, okay, it's fine. So I stayed with EP until the matric, and then, yeah.
Now, you're talking about your aunt and yourself. So I get the sense that your aunt did not have kids of them.
No.
Okay. So now you get good EP, Wapusha. Now, have you always been somebody who wanted to be a doctor? Or
No.
How did that happen?
No. Nali majitabaka nereli mo classic ya medicine science. So I think na ngitatetse engineering, electrical engineering, ngipulla gore that's my stream, I'm going to that direction. Wabon, it has always been that one. Up until matric, kipulla gore after matric ki pursue engineering. But then because situation good la, for me to go further my studies. And I had applied here and there for, financial aid, but nothing came through at that time. So then Kadula Mudla, I finished Skila 2002. And then Kabloma Gudla, I only got to go study medicine from 2005. So there's that gap between 2002 and 2005. Within that gap, Neki did a peace job.
Okay.
Yeah. There used to be a company in town, closer to Transnet, train station. You see where Dream Bar is, those building there. As if I remember well, it was called WC Hubbard Pty Ltd. It was a warehouse for your plastic wear, and then candles and boxer. Yeah, they will come and drop the stuff there, and then with the trucks from there will have to distribute to your retailers in the Northern Cape and Northwest. So that was my first job. But because of the body structure, they saw this little guy and like, when now you want, we can't expect you to be packing boxes and then going into trucks. So let's get something lighter for you. So they pushed me into admin. Yeah, and I think that's when I first got my first pair of glasses then, because I struggled to see. I was on the computer every single day. And those guys, they actually paid for my first pair of glasses. And we worked there for a year until it was now liquidated. And then it was another stress of staying at home, hustling. And there was this Grootman, Moskomo Kachepes, Naspana game. And then come approach a Griman Grootman, Wabona dia pala no. The Spanish game, at least a CV, and Singapore game got called, and I started there. Go came from after I speak Spanish a year, and then Kaya came there. And then I started as a cashier game because they looked at my results. I got a distinction more mathematics, so they felt I don't know about thing this one. So I started as a cashier game the first 3 months, and then they have this computer room. Then they recruited me to the computer room. You actually overlooking the Taylux shop. You can see how much is being generated into till number 5 or till number Bukana. So yeah, so you control the whole the whole front line now, like a computer room. So I got recruited there, and then Kaspana, up until I created the scholarships, I could study medicine in Cuba. And then, yeah, the Cuba move started.
Do you remember your first, do you say wage? I was
It was around 1,300. And at that time, I couldn't buy much for myself. Just to go back a little, by the time I matric, my aunt and Abereka Kiriko restaurant and go something fishy. They all got retrenched. Now, retrench was so, has a color ready to horeka for the couch motung because in nearly those new houses are two down. So you moved from a shack into the RDP house. Now, Rachwakulap Nasida Sohoreka the couch. She got retrenched. And I know so I think that's one of the reasons that pushed me for him and mo batla span. Okay, span so that they keep this thing. I can't go back to dula mudi tilong or mudi karating, there's no way. So I keep pushing that idea. Whatever monies that they were getting after being retrenched, and then berikopan sali salary ya karbono repesha yang mabaka kotlu. So yeah, that salary nearly buma 1.3 A1. But at that time, it needed a difference, it needed a difference. Machita baka wang muspana libone, you'll see about and I take a genial levi and not chaka ish. I'll have to save left maybe for 3 months before get like Korea. Areka all star nakitla take a pilika star for now. I'll get to that one because I need to patch control. So I had to become a breadwinner at that time after paritrencha mamokoloaka. So yeah, so it was that kind of life, having to become a young adult. I mean, I was only 18. If it's a metric 17. So from the age of 18, I had to man up and become a breadwinner. So yeah.
Now you are good gaming, Hoshapa, the getting scholarship opportunity. How okay young information in scholarship?
From Sgila, Nekinale Majitabaka. We're friends since Restata ku EP. And there's one in particular, Mamokholwaka or like we are brothers, Tebokos Klabi. So, Kiena na did all the applications. Na nekili just in my zone, Kaspana Kifulora, and Nakitlamlike Hocherezano. So Stay will go Kuhai, take the CVs, and then Abadira. He'll just give me a call. Mchana, kitile the CV, kili latletse kwa lekwa, expect their call. Sharp. That was it. Even Leeyako Cuba, he's the one that applied for me. I didn't even know about it. He just told me, Mana, kilatletse CV akako health, there's a scholarship in medicine. Get it now, sharp. I'll wait for their call. And the call eventually came. And I got called for an interview for the scholarship. He had also applied, but then he did not go for the interviews. With the view, Yahoring, the both of us cannot leave.
Oh.
One of us had to stay at Shabelele, the family, because there were struggles. So mchana wena tsamaya nakitla sala hi. So when they called me for that interview, I had second thoughts, man. I didn't want to leave. Don't want to lie to you. I didn't want to leave because I'm thinking, can breadwinner montlung. So mamogolo wa ka o tle go survive yang now. Ka bona? O tlo patela di-bills yang nna ke seyo. And she had just been diagnosed with a chronic illness, and I was just scared for her. Should the illness progress and deteriorate, who's going to be there for her? So I'm like, so she actually had to persuade me to go and say, don't worry, ke tla ba sharp. You can see gore ke startile now ke a roka whatever batho ba tlo kgaola maruge ke dira those things. I'm just keeping myself busy, so I'll survive. Why not go and study, because this is a lifetime opportunity, you know. But I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I was excited to leave. No, I wasn't. Ke tsamile ka pelo e kroma because ke fulare. She took good care of me, and I felt it was my responsibility now to take
care of her.
So yeah, that's how I left for Cuba.
So Mavaya, you go to Cuba, first time. Let's go to the interview. How was the interview?
The interview was quite fun. They were actually asking me this kind of questions. And I explained mang, and I explained the situation at home. So they said, but so you are the breadwinner? Yes, I am. But now you are applying to go to Cuba, so then what? Because you are the breadwinner. So what about the people that you've been now working for? Man. If kgoro e one e tswalega go tla bulega e nngwe ga ke itse kae, but I have to do this, because if I don't take up this opportunity, let's say ke dula ko game, ke tlo bereka ko game for how long, ka salary e bokae. Ke feel gore ha ke ya Cuba, then coming back it will be easier for me to change situation ko gae, and even in the community as well. So I mean, from 2002 of Feta School, we are now more 2005. And I have nothing solid. It's just kiddie piece job here and there. Education-wise, I don't have anything. If came Bafula tomorrow, then what? I must start from one again. But I know with this one, if kids hire this opportunity, then I'll always have something to fall back on. And it's going to open so many doors for me. And then they were like, okay, fair enough. So I got chosen. Then that year they took 15 of us to go to Cuba. 15. So yeah.
But how was the feeling now? You Mavaya, you going to board a plane for the first time in your life. How was the and I think most importantly, the fact that your aunt now
Yeah.
happening.
No, I was anxious. I won't lie. I was anxious. It was mixed feelings, man. You don't know if you're supposed to be excited, and again that fear in between, anxiety levels were very high at that time. And mind you, I had never left the Northern Cape then. I mean, it was just from Kuruman to Kimberley, that was it. Those were the only two places that I knew. Now I'm going to Cuba. First time boarding a plane, Kimberley to Joburg. First time going outside the province and outside the country. So it was, I was anxious, man. I don't want to lie to you. You know, you're excited, but then again, I don't know how to explain that feeling. I really don't know.
But how is the family now taking it?
No, my aunt was happy for me. She was happy. She was over the moon.
And the family in Kuruma?
No, they were also they were happy.
Okay.
Yeah, they were happy. I didn't see much of them by the time Kitlodula Mukimbal, you know. They will only visit now and then because even my little sister had stayed that side with the grandparents. Yeah. So yeah, they were excited. You know, the excitement, yeah, that part of it, overseas, you know. Yeah, overseas. And then you board a plane, then you are go Cuba, and then right, I see overseas in like boarding with TV, no, yeah. Because when I mean, it was a plane from Kimberley to Joburg, from Joburg to Madrid, then Madrid to Havana, you know. And then you get to Havana, you're like, yeah, no, we are here. Nice place. And then you get told, no, you guys are getting into buses, you're still traveling. Okay. Got into buses and then you travel. The program back then, they didn't want us to study more Motoropong. They took us to the rurals of Cuba. So we traveled to the rural thing, and then that's when you start seeing these old cars, those horse carts as being used as taxis. I'm like, nah, man. Ke overseas young no ka di kara tsa di pitsi, so I'm like, so they took us there. I refitla go Cuba, and then we stayed for a year. Go the rurals before then you can choose the varsity that you wanna go study at.
Now, for that whole year, what is it that you do?
Language.
Okay.
They teach you the basics, at least for you to be able to have a conversation in Spanish.
Okay.
You know, that's the first 6 months. 6 months thereafter, you start doing your anatomy in Spanish, you know, those things in Spanish, because thereafter, you're going to start first year of medicine and everything is in Spanish. So that year, it's for you to grasp, learn and grasp the Spanish, because from there on, it's Spanish until you finish that side.
So wait. You're saying now, what's next?
No.
So you literally had a year, there are 6 months to learn the language.
Yeah. The other 6 months, then anatomy, physiology in Spanish, preparing you for your first year.
But now, how are you finding it? How fluent it? Nah, man, you gotta get fluent.
It felt that way because there's people around you, babua, but you can't hear a thing. You know, you can't hear a thing. Even you going to the shops, it was a bit of a struggle. So our government had bought us dictionaries, English, Spanish dictionaries. So when you go to the shop, you go with your little dictionary and go check out kana soap ka Spanish, ikwadilo ale a born. But when are you going to pronounce it the other way around? Yeah, that one be pointing, that one, So it was quite funny then. But the teachers there, I mean, they were very patient with us. Some of them knew a little bit of English. Whatever, and then I will explain a little bit of English. You know, and then our seniors then, when you got there, Barry, the only way for you to learn Spanish faster, don't stay Korese, go out to the streets. Cuba, the packets are the shop. So you'll find Cubans who do the parking, and then they love foreigners.
Okay.
And they can just spot you from a difference, or this one is not one of us. So they will come to you, babua English, and then actually rutang Spanish. Yeah. So you must just have something that Havana Club Ram, Luadula, Waho Ruta Spanish. Yeah, man.
Now, you mentioned the government had bought you guys dictionaries.
Yeah.
Now, you know, there, What ones or what's really who's paying for your basic needs and everything?
Okay, so you get to Cuba. A program was designed in such a way for the 6 years that you'll be in Cuba, you'll basically become a Cuban because we had the Cuban IDs. Government was paying the Cuban government to take good care of us there.
Okay.
So Nareja Kuskila, another famous accommodation and everything. Plus, on top of that, Nebarefa, your monthly stipend. We're getting a stipend at $200 Arelico Cuba. Yeah, this with that one, you can go buy the toiletries and buy a phone card so that you can be able to call home. Yeah.
So,
Or if you don't like the food to say what apayang, then you can go buy Tijoko Strating. At least in stipend to say when they see two signs so many ways.
but how long did it take you to fit in shop? Because I know the other time I went to Togo.
Yeah.
It was a struggle for me to eat. I was there for I think for a week, and the only thing that I could eat was bansaka coke, because then they prepare the food. I really could not eat.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you?
It took long. We felt so bad for the girls because when they were refusing to eat when we first arrived there. I mean, otsena da meal ya gago ke rice ka di beans, be it black or brown beans, and then pork. They eat a lot of pork. But then we also had guys from Limpopo, the guys basaje pork. So basaje pork, kosena chicken, otloja mai, and then ka drink of pop. That was basic. So your lunch le supper, it's always rice, ka di beans, jone de ada. So then they will pay around ka pork or ka mai or chicken highly thing. Understand? That was Kimberley every day. In the morning, ke banse ka masho bone ka java. Yeah, it's fine. Ka cheesy more. Yeah. Marate rice ka di beans tsa gago di dula di le teng. So I remember our first Christmas because Revaile ka September. And then we spent our first Christmas go Cuba, go Sawala Grande. That meal, I mean, you can ask the guys that left with me in 2005. Yo, it was bad. It was your rice, curry beans, 2 boiled eggs, drink of pop, Christmas Day. Yeah. I did we shebile so na kana ki kriza kotla ngabe ke ja eng no, but that was the meal. So the ladies, dijo tsewa ne di simnate for bona, and then they will starve themselves, or they will just depend kachele their stipend to go buy dijo kontle. And then they started babang obviously but lose weight because they were not eating well. You know, for Namajita, you just bona I mean, the first week the same meal, so people are guys, rehino. I to change a day. I reach. Right jail and no sharp.
Push up for 6 months, following 6 months where they teach you in anatomy. How is it now? You've learned better.
It was easier because now you can have a conversation. You are able to ask questions. You understand? It's just now for you to get the names, the body parts into your mind. Okay, aching. It was the second 6 months your net was quite easy. The first one, yes. But now that you can at least have conversation, Nyana, yeah, it made things quite easy. Yeah, man.
So now, come you choose.
Yeah, it was 3 varsities then. You had to go to Cienfuegos, Santa Clara or Santi Spiritus. So you have to choose. Cienfuegos ke Tounu, go na le metsi da, e nice, so most people wanted to go to Cienfuegos. Santa Clara e ne le shapo, but this is so grand compared to Cienfuegos. The other two, they were not. So, but then Balu split, like Nekotsamile 15 from the Northern Cape. But all the provinces combined together, I think we were something like 77 then. So they had to split the 77 into 3 groups. So Nath ended up going to Cienfuegos, Kutong. Yeah.
How is it Nokutum finally I kept on Kimberley, I don't know what to do.
No, Wabono, yeah. You know, it's getting better now. I think go sawa la grande yiki motono, then okona go yara ku beaching, go sharp, go nice. Wabon. And then let's say so many tourists around as well. So it was quite nice. Wabon.
So how? So that's now your first. You say it's your first
year.
Yeah. How is the first year?
First year nearly sharp. Obviously in the beginning, babang babua fast again. Other Cubans but bua Spanish so fast also utlo aring till they repeat or colleague no, this is what he's saying. Oh, okay, sharp. You know, because nobody sits in Moscow, so those lecturers man about fast. So a bit of a struggle go alisumulula, but then once you try it goes smoothly.
Now for how long were you there?
Go Cuba.
Before you came back home.
With us, it was supposed to be 3 years before Otlachai.
Okay.
Yeah, you spend 3 years spelling. So your first visit to Mzansi will be after 3 years. But with me, yeah, because we were scheduled to come for vacation 2008. Unfortunately for me, I had to come 2007. My aunt, Mamukolo, abastata bobola. And then my little sister Natswile Anu from Kurumana Todulalen. And it was bad. I'd say Najwako Spetle, those things, and until she passed on. So the last time Kimubona in Elian to Medisako Airport, Wakitsamakia, Cuba for the first time. That was the last time Kimubona. And Kutsanako Cuba, it was just that thing, the call every month. Because I look at a stipend, then you'll buy, you know, a phone card. The phone is one in little the card. Hopefully those telecom phones. Yes. So it was those. Then you'll just call, and you only call once a month. So yeah. Then I had to come 2007 for a funeral. Yeah, Mamukol.
But how did that affect you? This is the first thing that pushed you to go, though you were reluctant because of her condition. How did that affect you?
It broke me. I don't want to lie. It broke me. There were a bit of hiccups for me to come for that funeral because actually the contracts are a designer. They will say you'll only come back if it's your immediate family. Now this is my aunt. And I said to them, she's not only my aunt, she's my guardian, she's a mother to me. So our Sheba contract, it's like you can only see her name there, you don't see any other name. So I'm coming to that funeral. So there was a bit of delays and delays, but eventually they bought me a ticket to come. Even though, I mean, Kifichile, the Friday before the funeral, I arrived in Kimberley Friday late afternoon. Funeral ke kausa. Luckily enough, Sister Wakale, this friend of mine, Teps, the one that applied for me to get the scholarship, they were here, they were running things, so everything was in order when I arrived. And I don't know, I think they expected me maybe to break down when I arrived, but I was just fine. I mean, for 2 years, I was already used to not seeing her. It was just that thing, come month end, I need to make the call. But other than that, I'm fine. So it hadn't sunk in as yet. She's gone. I mean, I've been gone for 2 years. And coming back, Hakinali Jui, preparing for funeral, Tabs had to make a plan. Him Chana Kinali Ingli Daso. And Kibiking and a dagger mo Tabs, so saying keep simpile, and I got as long as funeral in China, then Kishap, Wabon. Funeral the next day. And then after funeral, obviously Kotla. And the last time it was just the two of us, Montlu. So then we start to wonder, man, go change. I mean, go na le motho mmasanyana Montlu. I want the pictures I get on the walls, but she's not here. It broke me, man. The department had to delay my return back to Cuba. They had to organize a couple of sessions for psychologists so that I can go there before Kibuela, Cuba. So I wanted to cancel the whole thing to say, you guys can send Lutaka to Cuba and let me be here. I mean, that lady who sacrificed so much for me. And me going to Cuba, I was actually also doing it for her. You understand? But you know. So why should I go back? And Kalohan. In that line, what's one? She's never gonna see me Kitwele mo lifing, and so that's why the sessions had to come in. I don't know, but you can't just quit like that. Well, you still have your sister, you still have siblings because my dad had another family. You know, you still have your cousins from your other aunts that are looking up to you. So go back. So I went back. But then going back after the funeral, it was no longer the same, and I lost focus. I was just not coping that side. I wasn't coping. I will skip classes. I will just get a stipend and then just drink and then sleep and not go to lectures. But I believe those guys were a bit patient with me that side because they understood Hori. This guy always actually basically like a mama. So they were a bit patient with me. Then the whole group will then come back to encourage and no man, this is not the way. We sort know if we flop and you're going back for good. How next? You'll be telling people to Cuba, but trying. So the main aim for reclaim to come get the skill retsoka ka papire retleting mo. So let's push. Yeah.
Just come back to yourself.
It took time, and I think what made it worse was I wasn't looking forward to end of the month. How career a stipend, because everyone is now going to buy the phone card.
Oh yeah, the person that you used to call is no.
You see, I will buy a phone card and then just stand there. Ke phone lamang. So, yeah, it's a lenako. It's a lenako. During the month, o tla ba sharp, but month ends, o tla ba bona re eme so re ko di phone. When unfortunately there's no one to call, so yeah.
No, I want us to talk about tips. Where is tips?
Tabs out there o ko Limpopo no, o berekela Transnet.
Now, how is the relationship between the two? The friendship, right?
No, we good. We good. We might not talk every day, but we good. Atla gae, we meet Rabua, and if there's anything important happening in one's life, we talk. You understand? We still good. Yeah.
It's fine. Now let's go back to Cuba. You push to Cuba.
Yeah.
You get yourself together.
Yeah.
Now you managed to finish it within record time.
Good Cuba.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now when you complete that, and then what happens?
The program is designed in such a way, Hore, you only do up until 5th year ku Cuba, and then you come and do your final year Momzansi.
Okay.
Those sayings because you don't Oscar like a foreign qualification. You know. Plus now, remember now, you're doing a year of orientation in language, and then 5 years of medicine in Spanish. So the whole 6 years in Cuba, it was Spanish. So we now had to come back at the final year Mohai and transition from Spanish to English. Yeah. So English we born now after 6 years. Go on English more. Final year. So you will choose the varsity some went to UP, some went to UCT, Stellenbosch, KZN as well, Medunsa, and Nali, couple of the gents, we went to Wits. Yeah. To do the final year there. And then that's where the struggle started.
Talk about how now the transition now, you had to from English to Spanish.
Yeah.
Now, all the Spanish. Now you're coming back to English. How is that transition?
It wasn't easy at all. Because now you're so much used to speaking Spanish every day. You dream, you do everything in Spanish. The body parts, everything you learned in Spanish. The medical terms, now you have to take everything and put it into English. It wasn't easy because even the pronunciation, it differs. You know, you'll be doing rounds with the local students, and then you'll be asked a question, you know the answer, but then you decide to keep quiet because you know it ka Spanish. You follow a kitla go bua ka Spanish ba tlontshega ba. And then there was also that thing according the Cuban program the re-victimize was somewhere somehow. So you would rather hide it, let me rather not say anything. You know. Yeah. It really wasn't easy. That's why because some of these varsities, instead of just doing that 2 years, you ended up doing more, 2.5 years, because Abu failure the other modules, Abu failure the other rotation. You understand? Yeah. So
Now you come back, that's the struggle. Eventually, it's okay. And then how it's casually, finally.
before Kifetsa, remember I spoke about my aunt.
Yeah.
So after my aunt passed, nearly two more down. So my little sister came, and now my mom came from Rustenburg, my biological mom, about to do that. So akile ku vets, then I was started seeker. And between 2005 and 2011, I had lost a lot of people in my family. Mama kgolo wa ka o hlokafetse ka 2007, 2008. My granny passed on from my mother's side. My opa passed on. 2010, my uncle passed on. Now, my mom was cool. I never got a chance to go bury all these ones. I only came for funeral like a mama. Now there's a trigger again. Mama wakula and people like I mean, Hasiki started to that bond to le ena jakatani because una sitting le ena for nakwetel. Now kyo wa cool. And the fear of losing her drove me crazy. I lost focus again, Kuverts. I asked them for a break. Babam Panako. They gave me 6 months. Like I need to go see her, I need to go take care of her, make sure Horaki Boiler's killer, there's someone there looking after her. Baban. So then I came to Kimberley, stayed there for 6 months, get like a hokarabudi caregiver, you know. It was a bit easier then because, I mean, Department of Bankiti and by sort of this is our product and they understood situation yaka. So nakhuli easy home direct the line to Patwaba shop. These people will assist you. But I wasn't coping because she was really sick. I thought I was losing her. So then I took her again and then started again seeing a psychologist by the time Kelikuvat. Up until Gefets, I was put onto antidepressants. I think I drank them for 18 months. And then, but she recovered. She recovered. She at least got to see me graduate. Yeah.
But no, but all these things that you mentioned, your aunt, grandmother, grandfather, and I think happy about the fact that you could not come and bury them.
Yeah.
And if I go back, you said that your grandfather played the role at hand.
Yeah.
Now, what's keeping you to to continuously push and not say, I can go ahead and this thing,
at that time, I was already now, I fell in love with medicine. Remember Nekibatla engineering. For me to go study medicine, it was just an opportunity. An opportunity presented itself, and I was like, okay, let's go. We'll see in Kisakokai. And I fell in love with it. Don't want to lie to you. And then, I mean, Cuba from your third year already, back over that responsibility of dealing with the patients, you know. So you have that thing on you, or at least I can make a difference in people's lives, you know. So what kept me, going was that thing. I need to finish this because I want about most of them ba hlokafetse because of ne ba kula. So, which means it's I need to take it upon myself that needs to stop. If ke tla fetsa, then ke tlo kgona go thusa ba bang. Wa bona? Because I mean, Otani, it was breast cancer, it was seen at a very late stage. You understand? And I mean, coming from a program like Cuba where it's prevention. You understand? So they teach you that how the prevention is better than cure. So if that skill that I learned that side, coming to apply it more high, it will make a huge difference. But some of these people maybe in Kabwa sensibility had we acted faster. Or if we had someone in the family who had a bit of knowledge, but because basically I'm the only one on you understand? So that's what kept me going for now, man. I need to finish. You know. Yes, those other days will come. You'll have your lows and you'll be up there and then again. So I will just break down, but you have to keep going. Yeah, man.
So you graduate this year to witness this moment.
Yeah.
How was the whole experience?
Yeah, it was wow. And I was super excited. Remember now, it took me a bit longer to graduate because of that 6 months break. I'm feeling you on a convert. So Majitabaki started back graduated the year before, and then we graduated the next year. But yeah, it was exciting then, you know. But then with that thing happy, Mama Kholo, that moment needed Mama Kholo to be here. She's not here. But at least my mom and my other aunt were there, but it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I'm finally graduating. I'm finally getting this title to say, oh, doctor, no. Like, wow. Unbelievable. Wow. Yeah.
Now, I want to go back. You said your aunt told you, or there were chores, right?
Yes.
Now, those chores, or rather those teachings, your aunt, like the whole spanning young, the fact that you knew that I need to go and clean the toilet, I need to clean
I think in Tutile a lot, man. In Kahile that thing. At first, I used to complain to my grandmother back then. Not realizing what she's teaching me. She's preparing me for what's coming. I think unan tuta we kemele man, never depend mo motung o mongwe I kemele wena ka bo wena o na le bokgoni jwa go ikemela wa ntlhalogana. And I don't think if an godisitse as a cheese boy nkabe ke le mo killing thing vandag. I don't think so. Kore untrutile a lot, humility, le respect. I mean, like I said, una bereka ko restaurant. I pay ya salary ya gage na tla ba re pay ya ka ki re patala eng vandag. Ra patala through 200 agreements 150 tse dintse le re tla di bona a re patale lapnas maybe another 300 re santse re tla tse gase re reke dijo tse dintse le batla phone ba phone re tla di patala next month. That's relationship ya ka le mamogolo. She didn't even touch it. Una ba mo are bone recoverable mang today. So dilo tse di yalo di nkagile gore I need to do better. You know, I need to become a better person mo lifeng. I need to become a better person in life. I mean, even if ne go sena dijo ka matsatsi a mangwe ko gae, but ha ke tswa ke ya kwa, no one can say gore o jile papa ka morogo on a Sunday, o mongwe o jile ha ke se re di bitsang 7 colors, or several colors, that thing. You understand? Those are the things that she used to, instill in me. Waja ke papa le caramel on a Sunday, umong ujile whatever. But halo utwalo ya strating. Who's gonna see gore mang ujile? Look khotso lo babedi go sharp. Look grand. So yeah. So accept gore gaona, and then that's it. Tloela go itsinga pressure. Ha o sena gaona, make peace. Gaona. And don't go out of your way go leka ditsela tse di snacks go batla go kreya so senang sona. If it tlatla, it tlatla. If o sa tle ga gotla.
I intentionally asked that question because Kifula Banawa know when you teach them these things, Khaba Boni almost sure man. What is it that you trying to teach me? But
Yeah.
I'm not interested in the zone, but I'm to that zone.
Yeah.
So I was actually intentionally doing, because I know most of the people that consume our content on this channel are young people.
Yeah.
And by having people like yourself, we're just hoping to bring them to reality, because we have this thing, social media, that makes people to believe everything is just easy, instant gratification. You only see the end result.
True.
You see.
Yeah.
So that's why I actually, that's the reason why I asked you that. Another thing, if your aunt was alive, what would you like to say to your aunt?
Look, I will just express myself and say just how grateful I am, for everything that she has done for me. I am where I am today because of her teachings, because of the upbringing that she gave me. It's because of her. I owe my life to her, actually, everything. Because she really pushed me, and had she not, honestly speaking,
In closing, there are young people out there, I think I've already mentioned, who believe what they see on social media, who think life is just about making it without going through the process. What would you like to say to these young people out there?
It's never easy. It's never easy. Now I always believe how create something that easy, you should get worried. And if we create that easy, I don't think you are going to value it much. But once you know, I had to struggle a bit, I had to fight for this, you're going to protect it, you're going to value it much more. So and the struggles that are today, as it's on a determining future. Yeah. Struggles that are today might just be teachings, preparing you for what's coming in the future.
Okay. There's a question that I also prepared, in closing. How are you going to talk about your practices? Now, if your younger self could see you today, what do you think they would say?
I would love them like proud to go in. Aye. I would love I didn't think it was possible, but now. It seemed impossible back then, but now today. So nothing is impossible, man. Nothing really is impossible.
Now, any just advice to parents as well, especially parents who are now raising banabano, the struggles,
To parents, I'll just say, man, give it your all. Mubaning balon, babana, give it your all, and le rute bana gore how khalemelwa it's not gore ga o ratiwe. Ngwana must know gore ha dirile phoso as a khalemele, then they must start getting worried, because ga gona motsadi o ka reng wa go rata ba go a ba sa go khalemela ba go lomeletsa wa bona. So ba godise bana ba bone in such a way gore morute gore life e tsamaya this way. And there's a lot of influences, I mean, on the socials as well. Bana ba know bana le access to internet. Dilo tse dingwe ba di bona mo teng. I mean, most bana sa ka di bona now. They see some things more TikTok, and then put the parents under pressure. Now I need this kind of treatment because someone else is taking. So parents need to be firm. Don't just be too soft. I admit a lot of young patients go KIMED, psychiatry, and some of them will say, I think in early ADHD, so
that's a new thing.
yes, treatment, I want Ritalin or whatever the case might be. But you set them here, but okay, let's go through it. It's just because we're born a trend elsewhere. Now, mama, I'm not focused. I keep pay attention to school. So I wrote about a doctor and a prescription. And some parents go to those lengths or no white clock, but I don't just give out prescriptions like that. We need to sit down, explain also. Parents need to be very firm. But don't just give in. I mean, there's a lot of influence mo baneng. But ngwana gago o mo trusta basically ha le atoko gago mo the moment a tswa ka gate go na le influence e nngwe kontle. Yeah.
Talking closing, this is a platform so that you're moving.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Speak to your people.
Yeah, so negile mo government before. I mean, after graduating, because of the scholarship, I had to come and serve the Northern Cape Acre contract signing. So started internship mo Kimberley Hospital for 2 years. Finished it, got a community service mo Day Hospital. And then from the hospital, Bekisiwa, Pampir start. Kaspanada for 4 years. And then that's when I left government then. Got now 2022, just after my mom passed now. Then I decided I needed to come back home to Kimberley. So there was a bit of an issue got transferred to Kimberley, so I just decided I'm resigning from government. I'm just going private. So I've been in private since 2022. I started joining Dr. Cupido Homestead Medicaid, took me in and taught me how the ins and outs are private and really set me up. And then I've been with him for 3 years until now. I decided it's time for growth. I wanted to now stand on my own. So I just finished now Homestead. I resigned. I served my notice until the 28th of February. I'm not working now since the 1st of March because I'm running around preparing for my new place. So I'm moving from Homestead to number 35 Smithrift Road. It's at the corner and the robot of Riviera Spa.
Yeah.
It used to be the old practice of Dr. Leilani Irwin. Yeah, so that's where I'll be moving in. So we're busy just prepping this week. We're opening our doors this coming week.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know my clients have been asking about Tenako Homestead. Molusi is no longer here, but now Keko 35 Smithrift Road. So yeah, I'll see them there.
No, thank you very much, Doc. Thank you for making time for us. I really enjoyed the interview, or the episode. All of the best.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, thank you very much. That was another episode of In Your Face podcast with me, Tolan Gaya. Please do not forget to like, share, subscribe. Yeah, man, and just tell your friends and family about us. And also tell them about Dr. Molusi. So let's go and support the people's doctor. Yeah, let's go and support Dr. Molusi. Thank you very much.
And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.